Okay, welcome back, you guys. Open Mat Chronicles, 1865 Rod here, back at you guys once again. And as always, we got my man Schaefer in the house.
What's up, everybody? Schaefer, how's it going?
What up, Schaefer?
Chilling, man. What are we talking about today?
Okay, man, you know me, man. I'm on a tangent today. But I got a good one. We're gonna play Myth Busters today.
Oh shit!
So you already know. Now I gotta put some context to this. I'm a little bit jaded in this one, but I think you're gonna be more neutral. So I'm glad you're here. You might be the voice of reason for this one here. So we're talking about the myth that is training. If you train no gi, will training in the gi improve your game? That's something that they always say. Oh, you got to keep doing gi. It's going to make your no gi better.
Right.
So let's just start with this.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that? I'm a no gi guy,
Gotcha.
right? Should I still be doing gi to improve my no gi game?
All right.
Let's do that.
That's all right. That's a really good question.
Frame it up.
Yeah, let me frame it up for you, right? Because there's certain ways you can come at this, right? You know me, I'm the big, is it a martial art? Is it a sport? Is it a martial art? Is it a sport? If we say it's a martial art first, right? Let's look at this.
Fact.
If it's a martial art, I think my answer is going to be different than if it's just a sport. And as we dig deeper still, if it's a sport, then it turns to what version of the sport are you actually competing in?
Okay, so let's do this. For the context of this, we could address both. Let's start with it as a sport, because when the guys
Start with it as a sport.
yeah, the conversations I have, they're talking about guys competing,
Going
and
to
all that.
competitions.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, good. Fair enough, because martial art, I think, has a totally different answer. So, okay, yeah, starting from sport. If you're dealing with it as a sport, and if you're talking about, hey, I'm a brand new white belt, because, hell, this is going to make a difference as well, right?
Yeah.
But if you're brand new to the sport, it may make sense to do both, because you're being introduced to moves that, though they sometimes correlate, like what you can do in the gi, you can do in no gi.
Yeah.
Sometimes, other times, it cannot. Right, like to understand what it feels like to get collar choked, you kind of have to have a collar, right?
That's true.
And understanding what your threshold is before you black out could be something important to learn. You also understand better how putting pressure on the carotid arteries will put you unconscious, because it's not really a choke, it's a strangle.
I think it gives you an opportunity. It slows everything down, too, when you're training in the gi, when you're learning. Yeah, so my position on that, I'll definitely concede that point, to where if you're starting out, you have to learn the gi.
Right.
I think 100%, get proficient at gi, and then start kind of, transitioning to the no gi. That's and some people may disagree with that. But
And I would also say, if you want to say that you're training jiu-jitsu.
Correct.
Because otherwise you're training submission wrestling,
right,
and it's something different. So if you want to train jiu-jitsu, you have to wear a gi. I mean, it's part of it. Now, let's say you've moved up a little bit, and if your focus is competing in no gi, if your focus is doing like Abu Dhabi's, if your focus is doing like freaking the Eddie Bravo Invitationals and shit like that, then, man, come on, let's be realistic. There's no fucking gis there, so why are you going to use a gi? You know what I mean? It's like, if you're at that level, if you're ready to rock and roll and do a bunch of, spandex fighting, what does a gi do? How can it help you?
I think their argument was, this is their argument. This is what they were telling me, was that, well, all the top guys that were winning, the no gi matches, they were all gi guys. But again, this was like years ago, right?
Right.
And I have a reason as to why, but we could talk.
Oh, for
I'm sure you
sure.
have reasons too. But you want to hit on that?
Well, shit, I'll tee it up and you can knock it out the park on this one, because it's like, if years ago everybody who was winning no gi competitions primarily trained in gi, and there were not a lot of no gi schools teaching only no gi.
Exactly.
Why do you think all these people were winning?
Yeah. And additionally, just the experience level, because, you go back a decade, you got these black belts who have been probably training for 20-plus years. Of course, they're going to get a quick tune-up in, because that's the part they don't tell you, is that prior to that no-gi match, they would go to camps and they would
Right.
train no gi for like 3 months.
Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
they would go- so they're going in with like 20 years of grappling experience. And then, yeah, they're going to still be, you're still going to be good at no gi, even if you've never done it. You're still going to know how to grapple, right?
Totally.
So then you do a couple of months tuning it up, and your competition is not a guy that's been training his whole life in no gi. You're going to have a huge advantage. You're probably going to win, which is what we saw.
Absolutely.
But then the tides changed.
They did, because the popularity of no-gi just skyrocketed, right? I mean, it's a faster game. There's more athleticism involved usually. And people like that, man. People want to see shit move. They want to, look, man, people have very short attention spans. So they're not trying to say, "Oh, let's see how he weaves into this De La Hiva and okay, now he's going to turn it into a sweep and he can do it incrementally."
5 minutes
right?
later.
Yeah, 5 minutes later.
Got the
Oh, that was a beautiful sweep to an advantage. He won.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
And look, man, God bless you if you won by an advantage. I know a bunch of people who won by advantage.
Now
right?
unless you're Demetrius Johnson, shout out to Mighty Mouse, because now my man makes it exciting. He's a gi player.
Yeah.
That makes gi look fun. He really
For
does.
sure,
And
but
there's some
again,
guys like
that's
that.
that pure athleticism.
Yeah,
though.
and that's
it's
exactly.
like, does he even need the gi? Like, he could fight no gi and realistically, if he wanted to, never grab the gi.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And still be very dominant.
He's an anomaly. He's an anomaly.
Yes,
'cause
he's
he
an anomaly.
He actually
Absolutely.
prefers gi. It's the weirdest thing. He says
look,
he
man,
loves the gi.
A lot of people love gi. Like, this is
not
why
hating
you were
that.
saying I'm probably unbiased, because I like them both. I love them
Yeah.
both, right? I don't care if it's gi or no gi. It really doesn't matter to me. If you want to wear a gi and you don't want me to wear a gi, or if you want me to wear a gi, I don't care. It's just like, let's just roll, you know? But again, I was from the whole 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what the competition was going to be. I mean, in class, you're still doing 1 week on, 1 week off.
Exactly.
You can always, like, if I'm doing no gi, I can always take my gi off and just kind of concentrate that with a couple of my extra rolls in. But, but I also wasn't doing it professionally. And it really wasn't like a life or death thing for me. But if you're talking about these guys who are really going at it, who it's like, my thing is I want to be the best or really, really good in this no-gi competition, putting a gi on is not going to do shit for you. It's not going to let you slide in for a heel hook faster, because you're not even
Slows
doing
you
heel
down.
hooks.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, you're in a gi. Now you're not
Slows
heel
it.
hooking.
Exactly.
So you're taking away a weapon,
Yeah.
right? So how does that help you when you might need to apply that weapon? How does taking my weapon away make me better at using my weapon? It doesn't. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. That's why I don't like it.
I don't need to worry about defending a freaking helio choke. There's nobody who's going to X choke me when I don't have a gi. So how are you making me better at my defense? It's like, you're showing me how to defend something that cannot, it physically cannot happen, right? A rear naked choke, of course.
Oh yeah.
Rear naked choke. But I mean, how is being in a gi making your rear naked choke defense better when you're just it's a
totally
rear naked
different
choke,
choke. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Well, with the material like the regular cross choke, that's different.
yeah,
With the
yeah,
gi.
totally.
It's much easier with the gi, I believe.
To get cross chokes and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, man. But like
Or
if
bow and arrows and all that.
if you were going to spin into a knee bar, right? Okay, I think it might actually be easier to get knee barred in a gi because you have that material causing additional friction.
Yeah, you
and
can't
that
just slip out of it.
Correct, you can't slip out. So if you're saying, oh, my ability to apply this knee bar has improved, I'm like, yeah, if he's wearing pants.
Yeah.
But if he's not wearing pants and I'm not wearing pants and, what I say, we butt naked covered in oil, it's like,
Okay, so
I mean, it's not going to work.
Okay, so that goes into what about the outliers, like when you have like a mix of both, right? So you have Sambo, for example. What's up with that? They have the gi top with no pants, but then you got 10th Planet where they got the pants with no top.
I mean,
You marry the two and you get jiu-jitsu.
it's just, yeah, right.
Like, to me, it's weird, man.
It's
They have
just a
both.
different
It's
martial
weird.
art, man. It's a different martial art.
Yeah.
And if you see practitioners of Sambo they didn't come over and start dominating no-gi competitions.
They really didn't. They wear shoes too, though.
Yeah, and which makes it easier to catch a heel hook.
Oh man, that's what I don't understand. How could they wear shoes?
Well, because that's their martial art. It seems like it's a combination of judo and wrestling.
But so does catch wrestling. They wear shoes too.
Yeah, but again, that's wrestling. Yeah, it's more of a traditional wrestling type situation. Yeah. Now, along the subject, but I'll tell you this: for damn sure, if you do no gi, and then you show up and you put on a gi, that damn sure won't make you better.
Oh, you're toast.
Yeah, you're shot to shit on that one.
Like you're right. So you could be a good gi player, take off the gi, and you could still
decent.
You'll be decent.
Hell, you might be better than decent.
You can move around a little bit, right?
For sure.
You're a no gi guy. You've never put the gi on. You're done,
dude. It's
toast.
It's like you're trying to run with a parachute dragging behind you.
Toast.
It's all bad.
So that's why you should always train the gi. I think what we have is a good mix, the 1 week on, 1 week off. Plus, for all the new people, it covers what you just said, the martial arts aspect. Yes. It covers that because, you're already kind of getting some experience with that material. And like for me, I don't do gi anymore, but when I did many years of gi, and it's still instinctively, man, I would still grab some material instinctively. I don't have to think
that
about
goes to, again, so now we're back at, if we're looking at it as a martial art, well, now you're talking about training because you might get into a fight with some fucker who's, what I say, you get jumped out in the Walmart parking lot, right? It's a cold, blistery winter day out in New Jersey. Got the snow on the ground. I'm just trying to walk back to the truck with my, I don't know, fucking bacon bits or whatever the hell I bought from Walmart. And some fool in a triple fat goose tries to run up on me, right? Instinctively, you're right. I mean, I'm going to defend, make sure I don't get punched in the head. I'm going to close the distance. I'm going to wrap him up. And I'm probably going to choke him out with his jacket. Yeah. I'm going to keep watching for his hands because I don't want to get stabbed or no dumb shit like that. But if you've got on clothes, you probably don't think about them, especially untrained people. You don't think of your clothes as a weapon that's going to get you killed. Exactly. But come on, man. Especially
a hoodie.
A hoodie? Oh,
it's
you're
like the worst thing to wear.
You're begging for it. Yeah, I'm going to wrap that sumbitch. I'm going to X-choke you with your hoodie. Yeah. It'll be dumb. It'll just be ridiculous. But if you aren't looking at it as a martial art, then you got to say, well, what are you training for? If you're never going to do a gi competition, well, then you probably don't need to train gi that much. But if you also say, but I want to be good at jiu-jitsu, well, jiu-jitsu, there's a fucking gi.
Yes,
so if you say, I'm going to a jiu-jitsu school and I would like to get my black belt one day in jiu-jitsu,
you got to do the gi.
Then you're wearing a damn
gi. You got to wear the gi.
Then you're wearing a damn gi.
Oh, yeah.
Does it make you directly better at no gi? It could be argued that it does not. Hell, I think we've already just argued that it does not.
I would even go so far as to say it might.
It hinders you.
It might hinder you. Like for me personally, but see, I've been training for a long time, right? So I got my black belt with the gi. Obviously, I did gi long enough to get my black belt. And I still trained in the gi, for a couple years after that.
Absolutely.
I would say just recently, I started to go completely like I'm done with the gi. Like 100%.
Hey, I know you called me up. You were like, hey, man,
I'm done
teaching this day, man.
Yeah.
He's like, we could alternate this one day. It's like, it's usually I teach this class. He's like, but I don't feel like teaching the fucking gi.
I'm just done with the gi. Like for me, and I have my own personal reasons. And for me, like they're maybe unique to me.
Yeah, of course.
It probably has a lot to do with maybe like the age, the style. Maybe a lot of it's a style of my game.
I feel
and
you,
then
man.
also like the injuries, like with the hands and all that. My hands are really healed up right now, so I don't want to injure them. My fingers are good,
just
dude.
Constantly wearing tape on your fingers.
That's the good thing about the 1 week on, 1 week off.
Absolutely.
It definitely does. That helped a lot. But I think for me, though, it's a lot of it's like the style of my game. It just doesn't lend itself to gi training
that makes
much.
Sense.
You said, it takes away half I'm a leg lock guy, dude. It takes away half my weapons. Why would I want to, engage in a sport where I can't use half the stuff I train for? So I'd rather use, that time to learn a new, a new entry to a leg lock versus learning a lasso guard. Totally. What good is that going to do me, the lasso guard? If anything, it messes me up because now I spent mental calories learning this lasso thing over here when I'm probably never going to use it except for that one day, I go in on that week.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Absolutely,
but 90% of the time, I'm doing no gi.
Yeah, so why fucking worry about it?
I do it. And for me personally, I just felt that, hey, man, if I'm not going to be doing gi, I don't think it's right for me to teach in the gi. If I'm not going to, I'm sorry, let me say that wrong. If I'm not going to be training in the gi, I really shouldn't be teaching in the gi. So that's why I just took a little step back from teaching in the gi, but I'm still teaching no gi.
But do you think that's because, I mean, just because you don't like it. All right, I'm gonna say you don't fucking like it, but it's like I don't think that you're not sharp enough to fucking teach it.
No, I could do it. I could, but
you just don't want it.
Well, here's the thing, though, Harold. You know me, man. I stay on top of all the new stuff, man.
For sure.
I always do. If there's something new, I'm on it, dude. So I don't want to have to do that with the gi. And there's a million new things coming out. So
I got you.
I could shift that mental focus over to no gi and just stay on top of that and be more proficient in that one thing.
That makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I guess I'm still whatever's clever. You can throw either one at me. I still like them both.
Yeah.
Gi, it's cool. I do enjoy teaching gi to newcomers because it's like magic. It looks like magic.
It is cool.
All the shit you can do with a gi, and you're like, wow, man. It's like you got this guy tied up in knots, and you slowed it down, and you just did it so smooth and incrementally that at each section of the move he couldn't get away.
Yeah.
It's like that's cool. Like that's a systematic way of disassembling somebody. But I feel you, man. If you're not feeling that shit, don't do it. And I say that to anybody. Listen.
I do this for fun.
Yeah. If you're doing it for fun and then you find that what's going on and the shit you're doing is not fun to you, what the fuck are you doing it for?
You know what's funny about that's a good point, because a lot of people think they feel like for whatever reason, like you're under some obligation. Like, bro, I'm a hobbyist. I do this for 100% for my own enjoyment.
Damn
like,
right.
If I don't like something, I'm just not going to do it. Like,
for real?
Facts.
Hell damn yeah. Listen, I mean, obviously we're all fucking a bunch of sadomasochists in this freaking world. Like, we like hurting people. We like getting hurt, obviously. But
I did say that after getting a black belt, though.
Yeah, you did say that after getting a black belt.
Got to get your black belt.
So there is
I had to suck it up for a decade.
Well, yes, that's true. Like I said, if you want to top out at the sport, then you fucking follow the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you run through that shit. But, listen, like I said, we like hurting people. We like getting hurt, and we like doing this kind of shit. But if you don't like getting hurt a certain way or with a certain thing, maybe you just don't want some shit wrapped around your neck all day. I mean, so don't do it. I mean, just fucking do no gi. But if you want a freaking black belt and you want to be able to put a gi on, well, guess what?
Gotta do the gi.
You gotta fucking put the gi on to learn so that you can get to the black belt. Yeah. So those are very good points. What do we ultimately figure out? No, you don't need to do freaking gi to get good at no gi, and in fact, it's probably not that fucking smart.
Yeah. And once you develop a game, it might even hinder you. But see, now let's think of that. Probably purple belt, I'd say, is where you start developing your game, right?
Yeah.
Purple belt is where you're like, oh, that guy's a Kimura guy. That guy is an armbar guy, or whatever. Once you're there, then I think you could really focus on the version that you like ultimately. And you don't have to make a decision. You might like both. Like Harold, you've been training for 20-some years, right?
Yeah.
And you still do both. That's fine.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
So. Gi, no gi, fucking winter jacket. Shit, we used to put on, every once in a while, we would just put on a hoodie and a pair of jeans, and we would fight in a hoodie and a pair of jeans.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking fun, dude. It's like, all right. Because now, it's like, hey, here's some clothes that you might actually encounter. Fight.
Is that a sport?
I mean, I don't know. It's just fucking Roadhouse. I don't fucking know. No, I think that's more of a martial art aspect because we're thinking, okay,
what's a sport?
How will we deal with each other if we're attacked? What's a sport? Yeah,
so
that's a good one too.
You'll have people say, oh man, I do pickleball or whatever.
Right.
It's a sport.
Right. Okay,
sport?
dude. Yeah. So yes, this is funny, right?
What makes a sport a sport?
This one we're tied in pretty deep too, right? So, okay, now we're going to take the martial arts out of it. Let's say we are dealing with jiu-jitsu as a sport, all right? Jiu-jitsu is a sport. And if anybody has a difference of opinion on this, please let us know, because probably going to fucking offend somebody on this one. This is just how it is, man. Jiu-jitsu, if we're looking at it as a sport, or judo as a sport, karate as a sport, or boxing as a sport, I think a sport requires the person to be going against other people with that other person having a direct interaction with them that forces you to change your game or do one thing or do another. So, yes, pickleball. I didn't want to admit at first.
It's a sport?
Pickleball's a fucking sport, yes.
Okay, so bowling.
Bowling is a game, okay? Bowling is a game.
But all these guys are bowling. I'm part of a bowling league.
They're in a bowling league, and they're they're all playing a game together. Man. Because here's why.
Shout out to bowlers.
Listen, my mom and dad were avid bowlers. Loved bowling. We're in the leagues. We're in the whole nine. Used to take us out there. We fucking bowl, eating fucking cheese fries and shit. It was awesome, right? But that's just a game.
It's a game.
Okay? Because, first of all, if you can fucking drink beer and fucking eat cheese fries while you're playing, like, that ain't no damn sport, right? This is going to fuck some people up, too.
It is, yeah. We're going to be.
I mean, Tiger Woods, hey, man, love the guy. Oh, yeah. He plays a fucking game, okay? He's a super athletic guy, but he's playing a game. So here's the deal with games, okay? Just like Monopoly, you are not, actually, fuck, Monopoly, you have more competition directly against you in Monopoly than you do in golf, right? Or bowling.
Direct competition.
Correct, because, I mean, now you're actually, motherfuckers are doing shit that makes you adjust, so shit. Maybe Monopoly's a sport.
But you know what's weird? Oh, no, go ahead.
Wait, tell me what's weird, and then I'll jump back.
I was going to say, so what about the Olympics? They have a lot of things that are not necessarily.
Yeah, they're fucking games.
Is Olympics?
It's called the Olympic Games.
Oh,
Fucking A.
You're right.
Damn right I'm right. So check this shit out.
You're right.
All right. See, I got a fucking buzz. I got a buzz. So see here, this podcast is not a sport because I can drink and talk shit, and I'm going to express some shit here.
So what's the thing with curling, right?
Curling's a fucking game.
That's a game.
And here's why. All right, let's first of all clearly understand why certain things are games, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, please tell me why I'm wrong. In a game, it's usually based where I get to go, then you get to go. Then I get to go, then you get to go, right? I also am not allowed to interact with you to get you to do something different. So if you're bowling, I can't jump in front of you and say, oh shit, make you fucking move a little bit, right? I can't force you to adjust the way you play, right? If I'm boxing, if I throw a punch, you got to move or you're going to get punched in the face, right? If I throw a punch, you might punch me back same time. There's direct interaction, right? That's why I said even pickleball is a fucking sport.
It is technically, I guess it would be under those.
But so is ping
terms.
pong and all that shit. But you know what's not a sport? Darts. Darts is not a fucking sport. It's a game because I take a turn, then you take a turn. Nothing you do other than say, okay, you got a closer score. Your score went up, so I'm chasing your score. But that's not you really adjusting how I play, right?
Yeah.
Drag racing, because, man, you mentioned drag racing as something before.
They call it a sport.
It is a sport. And this one kind of fucked me up, too.
You're in a car.
You're in a car, and it's like, okay.
Racing this dude over here.
But.
And I love drag racing. But is it a sport, really?
So I'm saying, yes, it's a sport.
Should a sport require physical interaction?
But you are physically interacting.
With a machine.
Yes, because even horse racing, it's a sport.
Oh, that is definitely a sport.
So one guy's driving, the other guy's driving. Well, the guy might go into the lead and then actually cut in front of you. So now he is actually blocking you from getting further ahead, right? In order for you to get further ahead, you have to adjust. You have to, oh shit, I got to make this turn. I got to cut up here, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're talking about that's track racing.
Well,
racing. Drag racing is where it's a straight line.
Oh, fuck no, that's a game.
That's a game.
Yeah.
That's
a game.
You're talking about the road racing.
I'm talking about
that
like
requires
that Indy 500, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that requires more technical. Yeah, the guys that cut you off.
Drag racing, you just fucking hit the gas.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that. I mean, you got.
Nah, there ain't nothing more.
No, there is.
What else you got to do other than hit the gas?
Well, the car will go sideways, go squirrely. You end up.
Okay, you got to hold it straight.
No, it's hard. It is not. It's not as easy as it looks. Trust me, dude.
Fair enough.
Trust me.
Okay.
We need Squirrely Mike. He's got that truck. It's got like 1,200 horsepower or something. Yo, he'll tell you hit the gas, you're going that way.
Okay, I got you. Fair enough.
Just watch any of those cars and coffees.
You have to control the vehicle.
Watch a car and coffees, and the guy with the Mustang usually wrecks it. When he leaves, he does a burnout. They'll like flip it over. It's always a Mustang too.
Okay. But in this particular instance, drag racing, so that's just you. That's you against the car and the track. That's not actually you against it's side by side. You're just trying to get a better time.
Yeah.
If he wasn't there, you're still get the same kind of time.
Yes, correct.
The opponent is not necessary.
Well, to a degree, like the light turns green and whoever gets off first.
Okay.
So a little bit of reaction time.
Okay, but are you paying attention to that motherfucker?
No,
or
you're
just
looking at the clock.
So you're not. So like I
Yeah.
said, so you don't need him. You know he's there.
You know he's there.
But you don't need him to actually
could do
get
the
a
same
really
run
good
without
time.
him.
Exactly. Whereas if
I think
you
you're
are
right.
playing
I
pickleball,
think you're right.
fucking pickleball. If you're playing pickleball, somebody's smacking a ball at you, right? And you got to smack it back.
But what's weird about the Olympics, they have things like judo, and that's definitely
a sport.
I know.
Or a martial art, but in this instance, it's
boxing.
a sport. It's a sport.
But you're right, it is though. But it is called the Olympic Games. But
Yeah.
it's like it's a whole amalgamation of everything in there. It's just a mix.
Hell, even track and
hodgepodge.
field, if you're talking about a direct race with people running at the same time against each other,
Yeah.
I believe that is a real sport because you are physically at that moment trying to get past somebody, right? But they're trying not to let you get past them. They're actually running as hard as they can. They'll cut in front of you. They'll do all kinds of shit.
Wait,
like,
don't they have little lanes they got to stay in though?
No. When they're running, dude, you don't just have to stay in one lane. You fucking haul
Oh,
ass.
I'm thinking like the hurdles. The hurdles you do.
No,
Right?
hurdles you do, yes.
So is that because that's like the drag racing,
Okay,
right? Because you got to stay in your lane.
I think hurdles is a fucking game.
It's a game. Oh man.
If I can't get in your way, it's a
You're right.
fucking game.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Damn. Just like freaking look. I mean, we
Everything's
love
a
like
game.
competition shooting and shit like that, dude. Like you're
Don't say
running
it's a
around.
sport. I'm going sport
That's
shooting.
a fucking game. That shit's a game.
Oh,
Unless
he's
you're shooting at
he's
each
an
other.
athlete. He's got.
Okay, fair enough. Now look.
Don't say that. He's an athlete. He's got.
I will
custom-made
agree.
911.
Nope. I will
1911.
agree. You can still be an athlete and play a game. You can
Yeah.
be very athletic and play a game. You don't think Tiger Woods is athletic as shit? Like he's great shape, great conditioning, all this stuff, hand-eye coordination, fucking through the roof.
I got one for you. It's gonna make everybody mad.
Oh shit.
I hate to say it too because I do this. Or I used to, but weightlifting.
Weightlifting's a
Bro, it's a freaking game. It's a hobby.
Okay, fuck. Is it a hobby? Is it a game? Here's what it's not. It's not a fucking sport.
It's not a sport.
It's not a sport. Even the damn CrossFit games and shit, like hell, what do they call it? The CrossFit games.
Yeah.
Even the CrossFit people, right? They're in awesome shape. They're athletic as fuck. But they're playing a game, dude.
Playing a game,
They're not blocking each other.
No.
Like all you're trying to do, I gotta just go faster than you and lift higher than you and faster but higher weight. Okay, cool.
I gotta lift-
But you
yeah.
don't actually have to have another person to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You could legit do that shit alone in your freaking basement.
But they make it seem like you're like it's an athlete. Well, you could. Be
It is. It's
but
athletic.
you don't really have to be athletic though to do weights. Like I remember when I was younger and I used to
Really?
lift a lot of weights. Yeah, like I remember hurting myself. I'd go to the doctor because I was pretty jacked back then. This is like many years ago. And he'd be like, "Well, you're definitely an athlete," and I'm like, yeah, "I'm not an athlete." In my mind, I was like,
You don't
"Yeah,
think,
cool."
dude? I
I'm
think
like,
you're
I'm
a
an
fucking
athlete. Yeah, but
like,
I really like
lifting a
I'm a
lot of
guy that
weights,
lifts
being a
weights.
strong motherfucker. I think that's
don't know
being
if you
athletic.
Yeah, but I'm not an athlete. Like it made it seem like to me, an athlete is a guy that's moving and jumping and doing athletic things. And maybe I'm not explaining it well.
No. I hear what you're
A
saying.
squirrel is athletic. Actually, they're freaking amazing. You ever see a squirrel, dude?
They're just yes,
Dude,
I've seen
I think they're the
squirrel.
most
I'm from New
athletic
Jersey,
creature.
dude. I fucking
Yeah.
see squirrels all the time.
Look at a squirrel and you're like, oh my, that's amazing. Do they just jump off a thing?
Yeah,
and
they're
flip around?
interesting.
That's athleticism, right?
I don't know.
A guy just
so
doing
I
a bench
know-
press. Oh, I lifted 500 pounds. That's not really athleticism.
I don't even know if we can apply athleticism to.
I don't think weights is
to
athleticism.
non-satiate
They look
humans.
athleticism because they look like, and it's. I think
Yeah.
it's from Hollywood.
They're just
because
running around doing what they naturally
We see
do.
Arnold. He's
So I
all jacked
don't-
up. What's the movie with the sword? Conan the Barbarian.
yeah.
But he didn't even look good. Like he could swim.
Dude, he was freaking.
Arnold can't fight. I can tell you right now.
I don't know.
He don't know how to fight, dude.
I mean, he's like 100 years old.
No, but Arnold in his prime would get beat down. He doesn't know how to fight. I don't know. He looks
Probably.
like real stiff and like.
Yeah, he's a bodybuilder.
yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a fighter. He's
No,
not a
he was not a
professional
fighter.
fighter. So,
I like Arnold, but he ain't no fighter.
but now, damn, dude, I think you're an athlete if you lift weights. If you can lift heavy shit. Well, here's why.
No, dude.
Because you are working towards getting better at it and building up, and you're using your physicality. Like,
I mean, I'd love to say, okay, great. I want to agree with you, but I feel like I'm cheating. I mean, I lifted some weights. I'm an athlete.
no, but
'Cause I did a deadlift.
but lifting a lot of weights makes you an athlete. Getting stronger purposefully makes you an athlete. Those are athletic endeavors. It's not like you can't accidentally.
What's the
get
definition of athlete? That's what we need. Somebody
Yeah, right. Look
it up
we'll
real
have to
quick.
fucking GTS. Google that shit. Okay, so what else? Yeah, sports. Sports require you to go up directly head to head.
Yeah, another guy opposing his will against you, basically, right?
They're trying to stop you from doing something. You're trying to stop them from doing something.
Didn't you say something a long time ago? It was pretty cool. You were talking about like football and baseball, and you said all sports are like they ultimately have something to do with
all right. So all sports, especially team sports, right?
Team sport. That was a caveat.
It was mainly team sports, but quite honestly, all sports are a watered down version of combat, like for the most part. Right, it's
like war, basically.
Like a war, yeah. Like this group is trying to impose their will on this other group. They're fighting it out. Martial arts, martial arts. That is the closest you're going to come to a combat, because now you're talking about two people actually trying to hurt each other.
Oh yeah,
right. Whereas football, you're running around, you're trying to cross a goal line, but just like when you're given, a military situation, your job is to clear a certain amount of a field. You're supposed to get to your to your opponent's freaking base or whatever the hell it may be. And so
gaining ground. You're gaining ground.
You're gaining ground. There's correlations.
Football is probably the best analogy.
Football is probably the closest one.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say football, rugby, any of those. Hell, even soccer. Except soccer, no, you're not allowed to really hit. Nah, never mind. Soccer, if you bump into somebody, they start crying and shit. They fall over.
But soccer players, they make good jiu-jitsu guys.
They're fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
They're because, again, super athletic.
I know.
I never quite understood, though.
I don't get it,
when if they get bumped, man. Have you ever seen one of these guys? Like, somebody will, like, breeze by his ear or some shit, and he'll roll over in a ball.
Really?
And he'll, like, grab himself like he's fucking crippled. It's ridiculous.
It's weird.
Oh, dude, it's such a like, they play up their injuries so good. It's awesome. which is funny, right? Because then they come to jiu-jitsu where it's like, well, you're not going to be able to play up the injury and get a win, right? So you actually got to just fight. And they do. They do very well.
I got the wild card for you.
What's the wild card?
Hockey.
Hockey? Hockey's a fucking sport.
Yeah, but they fight.
They fight, yeah, but
so
you know what's crazy about hockey and fighting?
My buddy used to say, I went to fight and a hockey game broke out.
Yeah, exactly, right? So here is something that I saw, and I wish I could remember the freaking match and the athlete. The guy actually knew how to fight, right?
Really?
So when he got in a fight, I think he hip tossed a motherfucker and was working out on his ass. They immediately suspended the fuck out of him because it wasn't just blind, I'll grab your shirt and we just start punching. No, he was here fucking jokers up. But that's not allowed. See, so hockey, they go, oh, you can fight, but not really. Yeah. Because if you happen to be good at it and you're just teeing off on fools and you dropping people, there's a...
Plus they get all padding on. You're not really getting hurt.
But if let's say you're really good at boxing. Let's say you play hockey, but you're fucking Olympic level boxer, right? And then that son of a bitch wants to do it. You slip them gloves off and you throw a couple jabs and you break his nose real quick. You know what I mean? Or you straight, catch him in the temple, just knock his ass out. They don't want any of that shit. Yeah. How many times you see somebody get knocked out in hockey?
It's enough.
So imagine if you had a guy just dropping fools.
Yeah.
Boy, there's a movie called Goon. Oh,
they'd fire you in the UFC would pick you up.
They'd fire you instantly. They would suspend the dog shit out of you because they don't really want you fighting for real, right?
Yeah.
Awesome movie, freaking called Goon. It's about a guy. They hired him because he could fight, and they just said, "Okay, here's the deal. You just go out there and fuck people up." They were like, "We don't care if you even can score a goal or not. Your job is you're the goon. You go out there and you're like a mat enforcer." Damn, that's another thing. We got to talk about mat enforcers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not right now, but one day we got to really talk about mat enforcers.
Every school has one.
Yeah, dude. That's like a freaking license to beat people up.
Kind of is, huh?
So crazy. Okay, so what did we figure out today? We figured out.
I guess we figured out that if you're doing no gi, you do not need to train gi unless you're starting out.
Unless you're starting out and you want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
If you want to be called a jiu-jitsu guy, you have to fucking wear a gi.
But look, let's do it both ways too. Because I don't want to be biased to my side. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy and you really love the gi, you don't need to do no gi.
Ever.
Why would no gi's not going to help you?
Nope.
It's not going to help you at all.
Not one bit.
Like, why would you have to worry about looking out for a heel hook or something like that that's not legal in the sport that you're engaging in?
If you're looking at it as a sport,
on the gi.
Correct.
They're so different now that almost it's crazy. We're coming to this point now.
Yeah, if you're just looking at it from a sports aspect and you only want to concentrate on one of those sports, absolutely you don't need it.
Yeah.
But if your sport is jiu-jitsu, well, the sport of jiu-jitsu has a fucking gi.
It has a gi.
Otherwise, you're doing submission wrestling. So if you want to be a submission wrestler, you don't need to have a gi.
I'm okay with that. I'll even sprinkle in a little bit of catch wrestling in there.
I don't want to be a submission wrestler.
Rocking some
only.
catch wrestling.
Catch wrestling's cool,
It's
dude.
pretty cool, actually.
Hell yeah. No, I want to be, but again, I want to be a martial artist.
Yeah, there you go.
And as a martial artist, I realize that I have to do both. And as a martial artist, I also understand that there should be some weapon incorporation in this in your shit. Like there should be.
Now you're going on weapons.
Well,
now.
no, dude, because I mean.
Hey man, is that still going to turn into like having like spears?
Disarm? No, but we used to do disarms for knives and guns and shit like that. I mean, because that's the martial art aspect. Because if you get into a fight, that motherfucker might have a knife. And so like some places have those. They have like the little shock knives and shit like that. We used to have a bunch of rubber knives.
I'd be okay with that. Like if it was close corner. Here's the way I would set it up though. You're already engaged in the guy, and he pulls out a knife.
Fair enough.
Then you deal with that.
But if the guy's like, I'm coming at you like that, nah.
I ain't fucking
run.
Dude. You run, dude.
But then again, everybody's not a good runner. Really? Now you're going to get hawked down and stabbed in your ass.
I got wheels, dude. I can run.
Well, that's fine if you got wheels, but some motherfuckers don't. What if you got little baby short legs and shit?
What about a gun? Would you try to disarm a gun?
Under what? I mean, look,
let's just say within distance, within arms, where you could actually touch it, but he had it out.
No, hell no.
Yeah. So like a lot of that training, though, they teach you that though. A lot of schools would teach you. I'm not saying So in general, they teach you as martial arts. Like, dude, hey, here's how to take a gun away from a guy. He pulls a gun on you, and you reach in and grab it. Like you're gonna be dead.
I mean, look, we did a bunch of disarms and all that shit.
I mean,
like,
even
in Gracie Combatives, they show you a lot of that stuff.
But what's the percentage you think? Like, if you pulled a gun, let's say I pulled a gun.
Nah, dude, if you have a gun, I mean, weapons win.
One time you might win. 1 out of 10.
Yeah, weapons win. That's why they're made.
There was a video. I think it was actually a really good video. It was well done. It was they had these fake knives that every time you hit it, it would like pop a little red spot.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Well, they have like the shock.
They use Sharpies. Yes. He used a freaking Sharpie, dude, and they got it. And that guy wore a white shirt.
How many times you freaking got hit.
Bro, he did every martial art, and every one the guy got shanked at least like 8 times. Like nothing worked. The one that did the closest to working was jiu-jitsu though. And what he did, he went in. He did a 2-on-1. When he did a 2-on-1, and then he controlled the arm. But he still got stabbed. Like he got stabbed like here and maybe here. He got hit a couple of times still
because people's arms flailing around. And shit. It's
so
like, dude, weapons win. That's why people made weapons. Yeah, I mean, it was to give an advantage. Yeah. Shit, that's why I carry a freaking weapon, because I want an advantage. Like I'm not. Fair fights are stupid, man. Fair fights are for competitions. So fair fights are the dumbest thing you could ever get into.
No, you're right.
Here's another one. Sorry, that's our self-defense one. We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that because I will always tell people, if you're really in a self-defense situation and you want to say, "Oh, let's square up," you're a fucking fool.
What about this? You know how they always say, "Oh, the gun is a great equalizer."
I believe that
to a degree, because like, what if both people have a gun? I would still say, okay, go with me on this.
Okay.
I would say the bigger, stronger guy that's more proficient will have an advantage. Because even if you have a small person, they're going to have trouble. Like sometimes even women might have trouble racking it. Bro, if you give a gun to the average girl that hasn't trained before and they're trying to rack it, if they have a problem.
But here's the thing. Get a gun that has a lighter slide. Get a gun that's a little bit smaller and that's built for those hands. No, it's still an equalizer. Okay. And then if you train more, you'll win. It's like, is there still athleticism and all that stuff that could tie in?
Come in a little bit.
It comes to training Reflexes, at that point in time. But if you have 250-pound, 30-year-old dude who decides to go after the 72-year-old lady, well, guess what? She has a gun, he doesn't. That's 100%. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. As an equalizer, remember, equalizer means I'm giving myself an advantage to bring me up to your level or above. Yeah. Yes, if you're both with a gun, well, you're not equalizing anything. Now, whoever's better and all that other shit. Yeah. Dude, there's so much I want to talk about that. I really do want to do a self-defense.
Size and athleticism and strength always is going to be a benefit.
Oh, yeah, dude.
No matter what.
Yeah. That's why
even with weapons. Because think of it, even if you had a SEAL team with like 10 guys.
Right. If they can't get to their destination
and you had like 10 little
fight,
kids. Think if you had 10 little kids with the same weapons, but then you had 10 men. Like, come on, dude. It's still going to.
No, I agree.
They have the same weapons, but the big.
All the training and everything else makes all the difference in the world.
It's not fair, dude. Life's not fair.
Yeah, life's not fair.
Supposed to be fair.
Not supposed to be.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah, dude. And
because you have to think of ways to overcome. You got to think of ways like little
improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yeah, there's always ways.
One of our mottos: improvise, adapt, and overcome. Shit. And there's also another fucking motto is make sure you train, because if it's important to you,
you'll definitely find a way.
And if it's not, you'll find an excuse. And if you find an excuse not to train and get your ass kicked, don't come looking at us, man. Don't point at us. You didn't tell me. I told you. I fucking told you. Get out there, train gi, train no gi. If you want to be a martial artist, train gi, train no gi. If you want to get a black belt in a standard jiu-jitsu environment. But if you just want to do no gi competition, I mean, then, just train no gi. Or if you just want to do gi competition,
or just do what you like.
Yeah, just
do what you like.
Do what you like. You're paying for it.
Yeah, that's the thing we forget. Yeah. This is a hobby. Like, we're paying for this service.
You're paying for it.
That's now, like it is kind of weird, right? In what other world? That's like you joining a car club. You're paying, and they're going to tell you how to fix up your car.
Dude,
hey man, you got to put this. You got to put these rims on it. You got to paint it this color.
Yo, martial arts is like one of the
weird
only
thing.
things.
It is a weird thing.
It's like, I'm going to pay you, and then you tell me what to do. Yell at me, make me like I said, we're fucking sadomasochists, dude. Fucking weirdos.
I know, but that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us unique, man.
Well, unique is just another way of saying a weirdo.
Yeah, you're right. A nice way of saying it.
Yes. All right, all you weirdos. Thank you for checking us out again. If you have a disagreement about sports, please let me know. I would love to engage you about that one.
Or games.
Well, yeah,
or Olympic games.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that one, though.
I think I'm right, too.
Yeah,
man.
that was a good one.
I mean, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Tell me why darts is a fucking sport.
What's that game where you put the little bricks on one another? You build that little house. We used to play it over at the vault.
Oh, Jenga.
Jenga's a sport.
Hell, Jenga's closer to a sport than darts.
It kind of is. Right? If we're going one-on-one, man.
I mean.
Jenga.
But Jenga.
Is it in the Olympics?
It should be. You should have Olympic Jenga.
Man.
Jenga's still a game because you're not acting like, as I'm putting my piece in, you can't smack me in the back of the head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could distract you, though.
I mean, listen, that's a whole nother fucking thing.
Distracting. All right, man, we're getting silly. All right, you guys, thanks for watching, man. If you liked the video, hit a like. Actually, just do one. Just like it. That's all we ask. Just like the video, and we're happy with that. We appreciate
fuck
you
that.
guys.
Subscribe, too.
Just do that later. Just like it. I'll be happy.
All right, like the video.
Like the video. Next week, I'm going to say subscribe.
Hell damn, yeah. There it is. Exactly.
Like for now.
Like for now.
So we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Us. We can just shit on a whole bunch of other fucking games. And people but hey, if you think your fucking game is a sport, explain why. Because it's not.
Ready.
I am ready. Go for it.